Except that the pre-construction is a large development that started selling before, while they were doing the roads and the lakes and the sidewalks and whatever, and they really didn't start building yet. So that's the pre-construction. Speculative is a guy that, like you and I, that may buy 2 or 3 lots in this little corner of this large development, but they only bought, and they start building one, but they really are holding to see if they can sell it before they finish, because they use the money that they get from down payment and everything to continue the construction. They don't really front the entire money. The developer is fronting the money through a loan or whatever, but he's fronting on everything is being built at once. I mean, they started here and they kept going and going and going and going. You have when we talked about in the page before, the subdividing and development. One of the things that they have to do is they have to put it on a plan, and they have to present it to the zoning board, and that's called the subdivision plat map. An engineer's plan for the land use superimposed on a map of the land to be developed. So it's somebody's actual plan on where the streets are going to be, what size the lots are going to be, what parks, everything. But now it's online. It's on a paper that they can review, and it's and the city or the county engineers are looking at this plan to see whether it's complies with zoning and complies with the regulations. Developers usually submit that plat to local planning boards, so they're actually, and it's a public hearing. This is not something that you just submit and they tell you yay or nay. It actually goes through a public hearing. The neighbors in the neighborhood have say-so. They can say, we don't like it. Or there's no dog park and we all own dogs. Example. The developers essentially submit that local planning board, and they're doing, like I said, they're showing where the streets are going to be. And last thing is what we call dedication. The developer usually builds the roads and the sidewalks, but actually give it away to the county. They give it away not only for ownership, but also for maintenance. They're going to be public streets, so the county is going to take title to the roads, but is also going to maintain them. But the developer built it with their own money. That's why it's called dedication, and it's a gift. But that's part of the negotiations of getting the plat approved. You get it approved if the developer agrees to build the sidewalks and the streets and the water and the sewer at their cost, and then give it dedicated to the city for public use or to the county for public use. Everybody understand the gift idea?
It's a donation?
Yeah, dedication is a donation. It is a gift of land by an owner to a government body for public use. So every development out there that has public streets, it was probably built by the developer at their cost and donated to the county. For them to accept ownership, they also take care of it. Once the developer donates it or dedicates it, which is the same word in this case, then the city takes it and they maintain it. If the street needs repaving, the county is paying for it, not the developer. But that's why they do it. So it's public streets. Isn't that great?
Mm-hmm.
So that
They
means
give them the
that,
job.
the front yard with houses not used, belong to the county or
No, the houses will
the
not.
house, but not the front yard?
No, even the front yard. You know, most lots,
The
most
sidewalk,
developments, your private property ends at the beginning of the sidewalk. The sidewalk and the little green space and then the pavement of the street, that's all belongs to the county.
Like
Yeah,
a
that's what
garage?
I'm saying, you know, that's
So
what they say.
all of that, even though you may maintain it on the other side of the walk, you still cut the grass. You're not paying taxes for it, but you maintain it, they own it, they know that you're maintaining it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they like that.
Yeah,
They like that very much. But anything outside, from the beginning of the sidewalk to the sidewalk on the other side of the street, it's all county owned, in most cases. Okay? Could be private streets, but most of them are public roads. So you build all of this with your own money and then you give it away. And that was a condition for approval.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Dolphin Mall. Anybody familiar with Dolphin Mall?
Yeah.
Guess what that developer had to do in order to get approval? If you've been in this, except for you, if you've been in this area for a long time, you might have noticed that Northwest Stroll Street ended on 107th Avenue, and then it started again on 121st or something. That entire road extension, even though it was offsite, it was outside of the development, was paid by the developer, built by the developer. And if you're familiar with the Florida Turnpike, there is an exit to the Dolphin Mall, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was also paid for, built by DOT, paid for by the developer of the Dolphin Mall.
Wow,
That was a condition for approval.
for approval, for the mall.
It was a way of saying them, pay for it if you want it, because we don't really want it there. We got a mall 2 miles away or a mile away. They're really gonna suffer financially and whatever. So if you really want it, this is what you need to do. They're getting louder, aren't they? Any questions on the dedication or the donation, as we call it? Everybody understand the concept? The last part of this particular chapter, other than restricted covenants, remember, restricted covenants is what?
Limitation.
Homeowner association. Okay? Homeowner association. On page 10, which is always very important, they love to test on this, and they have been for years. The real estate business is regulated or influenced by federal, state, and local governments. They like to get into your pocket. So just put your mind to work a little bit and tell me how, and don't look at the book, just kind of think. How does the federal government impact local development? How do they impact that? What monies do they get from you? If you read the third paragraph of the
Taxes.
role of government, well, first and foremost is taxes. But other than, because taxes stay local, taxes are state. There are no federal taxes on development. However, if you read the third paragraph, it says federal government impacts real estate business through its fiscal monetary policies. In other words, the interest rate that they charge. Various agencies influence real estate field include the Department of Housing and Urban Development, also called, better known as HUD, the Federal Housing Administration, which is called FHA, the Department of Veteran Affairs, which is the VA, the Environmental Protection Agencies, which is the EPA, and the Internal Revenue Service. Now, we know Uncle Sam gets into everything. But how does the EPA get involved? The Environmental Protection Agency. How do you think they get involved?
Because the areas, the development of the area that's
Everything. How much land you're going to have to carve out in order to build it, the lakes, if you're gonna carve out lakes in order to in order to be able to raise the land so that you can build the property. They get into everything. They have say-so on everything. They also have say-so on the species that may be natural to the land, like, God forbid that you find an owl. Do you know that an owl can close down a development? An owl can close down a development. It's environmentally protected. There are certain trees and plant species that are environmentally protected. If they are on your land, guess what? You're not building there. So how does the government, the federal government, get involved? In many ways. In addition to the taxes that they charge. The state government owns and manages a large amount of property and identifies coastal regions and other areas that are protected from development. State documentary and intangible taxes, one of the things that you're going to have to calculate. By the way, there's a little math, arithmetic involved in this course. So when we get to about channel 10, channel 10 of your book, chapter 10, you're going to need a little calculator. Not a big deal. There's math on your final exam. But if you don't like math because you always hated it and you still hate it, don't worry about it. It's only 10 questions. It's only 10 points. So the way I look at it is if you don't like math or if it makes you nervous, 90 is a very acceptable passing score. Ignore it. Okay? Use it for fun. See if you can do it. But don't let it distract you or ruin your day. But there is a little math involved. You know, one of the things that we have to calculate, which you probably will enjoy, is how to calculate your commission. You know, there's always been a question on the exams about calculating a commission. They make it a little difficult. You know, they tell you this guy makes 30%, but that guy makes 40%. So they try to make it a little interesting. But you know what? No matter how difficult they make it, everybody always gets it right. It's your money. That they know how to calculate. They learn real fast. It's when you talk about acres and how many linear feet in a mile and all that. How many runners do I have here? Anybody run or walk for? Okay, how many feet in a mile? Do you know how many feet in a mile?
43,000.
No, that's square feet in an acre, please.
I'm sorry.
5,280. Okay. You don't need to know that. You need to know that by the time you finish the book. Okay. Yeah. But it's a little bit of a math that they involve. Have you ever heard the term acre? Acre is a size. We, the United States, Latin America uses hectares or metros. In the United States, we use feet and inches and acres. So you have to know how big an acre is. I'm sorry, you're going to have to know how big an acre is. And it's 43,560 square feet. And I guarantee you that when you're done with this class, not only you will know that, but you'll never forget it. Because it sticks to your mind and you'll always will know that.
It's not hard.
It's not hard. It is not hard. It really isn't. And the reason why it's important, let me tell you why. It comes to every day of your life in real estate, not in your regular work, but in real estate. When somebody says, I have a quarter-acre lot, and that's a normal definition of a lot, a quarter-acre lot, don't you think you should know how big a quarter-acre is? Well, if you know what an acre is, which is 43,560, you're going to divide by 4. That's a quarter-acre. Okay? You should know, but if you just take the 40, forget the 43,560, take 40, divide it into 4, somewhere around 10,000 square feet. Okay, so somebody tells you I got a quarter acre and the lot is 5,000 square feet, you know that it's not a quarter acre. Somebody's lying to you. Or you need to correct something. Okay? So it's a number that's going to stick to your mind because you use it in real estate every day of your life. In real estate. Okay? Because we decipher lots in here by size. We decide how big a home is by square footage. 1,000 square feet is 2,000 square feet of air-conditioned space. The lot is a quarter acre, or a third of an acre, or a half an acre, or an acre. So it's a number that, even though it's a little math-oriented, you'll use it almost every day of your life in real estate. Now, restricted covenants, which is a restriction, it's a law within the community, within that subdivision, that somebody wrote, the developer wrote, and put it on public records, therefore it's there forever, that says restricted covenants impose limitations of the use of land in an entire subdivision, and they affect how the land can be used and establish criteria such as minimum square footage, placement of garage doors, and architectural design. Let's talk about, just for a minute, minimum square footage. Um,